Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark with the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1929 silent drama A Throw of Dice. Hey, that's not fair. I actually think that's a little bit rude. This is going to be a pretty decent review. If this is your first time joining me, I'm reviewing every movie in this book, The 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. I am promised that this is the most updated edition. What edition number is it? I don't know. It's just the most updated one. A Throw of Dice is based on an episode of the Indian epic The Mahabharata, hopefully I am pronouncing that correctly, which was about a high-stakes dice game that determined the fate of a kingdom. It was directed by German director Franz Osten and is partially famous for its grand scale of production at the time. It was an incredibly ambitious movie that used over 10,000 extras, 1,000 horses, and 50 elephants. And in a world that's dominated by CGI today, I cannot fathom how hard it was to use 1,000 horses and 50 elephants on a set of a movie. That production had to be absolutely wild. And after watching probably about 50 movies from the 1920s, I would say that this is the most epic production I have ever seen. It is also partially famous for its mythological themes and moral dilemmas, which are deeply rooted in Indian culture. Now, the plot of this movie isn't too crazy. It involves two kings who desire the hand of Sunita. Sunita was played by a woman named Sita Devi. That was just her stage name, no. Her real name was Renee Smith. It is also believed, though, that her sister Percy Smith also donned the role of Sita Devi. So apparently they switched back and forth playing this character. I don't know which Sita Devi I got in this movie. Maybe I got them both. Maybe one did half the movie, the other did half the movie. I don't know, but I thought she did an incredible job. I think that she is an amazing actress. She really showed a lot of emotion, a lot of heart in this movie. I wouldn't put her up there with the performance of the lead from Passion of Joan of Arc or Metropolis, but I still think that she did an absolutely phenomenal job. Now, these two kings are desiring her hand. She's already dating one of the kings named Ranjit. They are very much in love. In fact, he proposes to her later in the movie. But the other king named Sohat deeply wants her love, deeply wants her affection, and also deeply wants Ranjit's kingdom. So he devises a lot of plans throughout this movie to try to kill Ranjit, and all of them go awry. So he eventually decides he's going to kill Sunita's father and sort of make it look like Ranjit did it. Now, initially, they do believe that Ranjit did it. It does look like that Sohat's plan has worked, but they eventually find out that it was not Ranjit, that he was framed. So Sohat's plans kind of go awry, and he needs to think of something else. Now, he knows that Ranjit is a gambler. In fact, he is a very bad gambler in the fact that he is addicted to gambling. And he decides that on the night of the wedding between Ranjit and Sunita, that he is going to play this rigged dice game where he has trick dice. And first, it's just like he bets these little small bets here and there. It's like just a regular game. But then later on, he ups the ante and he says, if I win this game, I win your kingdom. And Ranjit at this point is on a large win streak. He's basically won every game because Sohat has not used his trick dice yet. So he eventually uses the trick dice here and he wins the kingdom of Ranjit. Of course, after this, knowing that Ranjit is the gambler that he is, he basically says, you can get your kingdom back, we'll play double or nothing, and if I win, you become my slave, but if you win, you get your kingdom back. And then once again, he uses the trick dice and he wins, and Ranjit has to become his slave. Now, a caveat of this is that a slave is not able to get married, apparently, in India at this time. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing there's no slaves now in India, but a slave cannot be married, so he cannot marry Sunita, which was the plan for this night. So once Sunita finds out about this, she, of course, is crushed and destroyed, and Sohat decides that he is going to basically take her, try to take her as his wife. He's going to try to convince her to fall in love with him. None of this works for him. Ranjit eventually becomes his slave, but Sunita does not become in love with him. She does not fall prey to his tricks, and she, throughout the rest of the movie, desires Ranjit. Now, eventually, the tricked dice are found out, and Sohat is found to be someone who has conned the kingdom away from Ranjit. Word gets back to Ranjit, and he decides to have like an uprising of his kingdom versus Sohat's kingdom. Sohat's kingdom does not stand a chance to Ranjit's kingdom, and it eventually falls, and Sohat eventually dies, and Sunita and Ranjit live happily ever after. And that is basically the entire movie. Hopefully I'm not spoiling anything. It's from 1929, so if you're going to watch it, great. If you're not, then you have nothing to worry about. I thought this movie was pretty good. Like I said, it is incredibly epic. It is on a very large scale. I was a little bored, I would say, by the beginning of the movie. I felt like there was 2 or 3 times when Sohat tried to kill Ranjit, and the planning of trying to kill him, and kind of the conniving and undermining and all this stuff, I didn't think it was all that interesting, to be honest. It really picked up at the end of the movie where they start gambling, and Ranjit loses his kingdom, and he has to try to get it back through this epic battle, or through this marching of his troops at the end of the movie. I thought it really picked up. I will say I love the romance, the relationship between Ranjit and Sunita. It's just because I really thought that Sita Devi did a fantastic job as Sunita, but I thought that their relationship and the love that they had for each other was very real. They did a very good job with it. You could see the chemistry between them. It really felt like they were really in a relationship. I believed it the whole way through. I really thought that they loved each other. I really thought that they had these feelings for each other, that they were emotional for each other. It was heartbreaking when you find out that he becomes a slave and he's no longer able to get married, because throughout this entire movie, he's like, there's these assassination attempts against him. Sunita loses her husband, or sorry, not her husband, but her father. You really feel bad for these two people because they're going through these tragic events, but they're still together. They stay solid together. They love each other. They finally get to have this night where they get married, and it's amazing, and you're happy for them. You're ready for it to happen, and then it all comes crumbling apart, and it's incredibly sad. But the ending, I thought, the ending obviously makes up for it, where they are able to get back together, they're able to get married, they're able to have this life that they want together. And then at the end of the movie, my fear at the end of this movie was that he's just going to revert back to gambling and be a gambler, and she's married this person who has a real problem, and this is going to be a problem later on in life, and it's just going to continue to be something he's going to struggle with, and it's going to ruin their relationship and all of this. Like, I'm thinking ahead of things that the movie isn't telling me that I'm worried about that's going to happen. But at the end of the movie, he basically says, I will never gamble again. And I have to believe that's true. I mean, he's gone through so much in his life. And I will say that once you get that urge, and once you are addicted to something, it's hard to just say, I'm never going to do it again. But I think that he went through enough trauma, and he went through enough throughout this movie to where he actually believes that, and he can make it true. So the ending is perfect. If they didn't add that part at the end, I would have been a little bit more afraid and scared for their future together. But the ending is fantastic. It's just some of the stuff in the beginning I thought was a little tired. I was kind of getting bored of it. I'm like, okay, where is this movie going? Like, I realized that Sohat's trying to get this guy killed, but it never happens. And like, can we just like skip forward? can we skip to like the conflict here? Because it was a little slow for me, to be honest, for a movie that's like an hour and 40 minutes. But I still appreciate what was going on screen. I still appreciate the scale, the amount of animals that they had to get in this movie. I mean, 1,000 horses. It just still blows my mind how you have 1,000 horses on a set of a movie. It's crazy to me. How that, it just blows my mind. But I give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I did think it was really good. Not great. it's on the borderline of good to great, I guess. But 7.5 out of 10. I hope you join me next time when I review a movie. I think it's Pandora's Box. Thank you. Have a great day.